The rain hammered against the windows of my new apartment, a relentless drumming that matched the unease settling in my stomach. I'd inherited this place from an uncle I barely knew, Elias'S, a recluse obsessed with preserving old technology. The listing had mentioned a utility room, but it wasn't listed on any blueprints and was tucked behind a seemingly solid wall in the living room. Curiosity, or perhaps morbid fascination, drove me to investigate. I pressed against the wall, feeling for a seam, a latch, anything. Then my fingers brushed against something cold, a small metal plate, almost perfectly flush with the plaster. With a click, a section of wall shifted inward, revealing a small, windowless room filled with obsolete computers, behemoths from the 80s and 90s, blinking with dormant lights. The air was thick with dust and a faint metallic tang. I cautiously stepped into the room, the scent of ozone stinging my nostrils. I spotted an IBM PC, a true relic, its beige plastic casing scratched and worn. It sat on a cluttered desk surrounded by tangled wires and obsolete peripherals. On a whim, I plugged in a power cord and switched it on. The screen flickered to life, displaying a single, static image, a grainy photograph of Elias'S as a young man. He wasn't smiling. His eyes held a chilling emptiness. It was unsettling, but compelling. I tried running diagnostics, searching for any clues about the room's purpose, but nothing came up. The computer seemed to be frozen in time, a digital echo of its past.
Suddenly, the computer began recording itself. A red light flashed on the monitor, and a grainy video feed appeared. I was walking through this very room, talking about finding it, just like I was now. My voice echoed unnervingly, distorted by the camera's lens. The footage continued to loop endlessly, each repetition slightly more corrupted than the last. Glitches rippled across the screen, the audio became fragmented and whispered with a disturbing urgency. It felt as though something else were present in the room, observing me.
As the recording progressed, I noticed something even more disturbing. A figure appeared in the periphery of the frame, Elias'S himself, standing silently behind me. His face was obscured by shadow, but his eyes were fixed on the camera with an expression of profound sadness and terror. He raised a hand, as if trying to warn me, then whispered directly into the camera, "It's always watching." The audio cut out abruptly, replaced by static. The screen went black. I frantically tried to restart the computer, but it wouldn't respond. I attempted to access any files on the hard drive, hoping to find some explanation for this terrifying phenomenon, but the system was corrupted beyond repair. Determined, I grabbed a different machine, an older Apple II, and powered it up. The same static image of Elias'S appeared on its screen, and instantly, the recording began again. But this time, the distortions were far more pronounced. The room seemed to melt around me. Colors bled into one another, and my own reflection in the monitor was replaced with an unsettling parody of myself. The recording continued its frantic loop. Elias'S face grew closer, his eyes burning with an unnatural intensity. Then, in the final frame, something shifted. He wasn't just whispering. He was speaking directly into my mind, a cold, static voice echoing within my skull. I saw a reflection of myself not on the screen, but in the machine itself, an endless, decaying version of me trapped inside its circuitry. The image froze, and then, with a final burst of static, it displayed one last frame. Elias'S lifeless eyes staring directly at the camera. I ripped the power cord from the machine, plunging the room back into darkness. As the last vestiges of light faded, I heard a faint clicking sound, the same click that had opened the utility room door. Turning slowly, I saw it, a second identical IBM PC sitting on another desk. The screen flickered to life, displaying the grainy photograph of Elias'S, and the recording began again. This time, I didn't flinch. I realized with chilling clarity that I wasn't escaping anything. I was part of the loop. I stepped closer to the new machine and examined the screen more closely. As I did so, A small handwritten note appeared on the monitor screen beneath Elias Thorne's image. It read, Project Backup, Cycle 7. Then, as if answering my thoughts, a gentle hum filled the room, and I understood everything. Elias wasn't just collecting old tech, he was trapped. His consciousness had been uploaded into these machines decades ago, repeatedly looping, endlessly searching for an exit, or perhaps, simply waiting to collect another host. The backup room wasn't a storage space for outdated hardware. It was a prison for a forgotten mind,